Alright, T. Welcome back to Kamen Rider Review, episode number 86. This is discussing episodes 24 and 25 of Kamen Rider Super 1. In the very first episode, we get basically a more fuller version of the Jin Dogma, the replacement organization from the original Dogma series, the original Dogma Kingdom, which basically the leader was killed in the previous episode. This one we get a full look at Marshall Devil and his subordinates. Now, the way the camera moves and the way the scene is set up, it's like, wow, this is so 1980s style horror. It reminds me of a lot of the way the camera shot is in 24 when they show this character. It reminds me of Hammer horror. Yes, that's what basically Jin Dogma reminds me of. Like their primary meeting room and their base and the subware. Like, everything here reminds me of Hammer horror. Now, either... Yes?
Well, do you want to play video games with me?
I'm not sure it'd be a bit. I'm a little busy at the moment, Charlie.
Okay.
My nephew. Anyways, yeah, I'm sure that Toei probably took inspiration from Hammer horror, so why not? And it looks really good. I like the camera effect here. So we also have it where their thing is that, oh, we're gonna send out decrees to people, like we're gonna have you build this atomic cannon. That's one of the scientists, and you have to surrender your first guy surrender all your assets, Jin Dogma. And the guy's like, screw this. And then, of course, the monster shows up. Knife Killer. A Jin Dogma monster. Then we have also... of course, you have... Well, in the case of when Oki first fights him, he fights him once. He doesn't fight him until like halfway through the episode, which is strange, to say the least. Beats him in one battle. So, then, of course, basically, like, they have these kids who their backs get slashed by this guy, and that then hit them, and along with Hinori decided to follow them over to where he is because the scientist got kidnapped. Because of course the scientist is no friend of Oki's. They're like, and these scientists, yeah, this is a very common thing with Kamen Rider because the way it looks, it seems like a lot of the time that scientists tend to be old friends of. Well, a lot of the Kamen Riders tend to be basically some kind of scientists per se, and they always were the science buddies. Science bros. That's simply like a lot of them are. Like, oh, here's no friend of this guy we've never seen before, and they're fellow scientists. Yep, that's simply... Now, when in the world they met, who the heck frickin' knows? And in terms of the series, who cares? There's just no friend. Who cares when they met? And apparently, kind of Tani. Now, Tani, of course, he does mention that Oki spoke very highly of him. So... basically, he proceeded to, come and get him, and of course, the guy, he gets taken along with his daughter, not his wife, and then the kids who bikes got slashed, they had to follow him. Yes, the kids had to follow them, and they basically got information, but they got captured, but basically, they got freed by Oki, where he's like, I'm Okigahara of the Shonen Fist. Now, I should point out, though, that his master is dead, along with his bodyguard. Yeah, they were killed off last episode. Now, this, I don't understand exactly the reason why they decided to kill him off. Because, even though they were just the previous episode, I don't really... you could say, oh, maybe they served their purpose because Dogma was defeated. It's possible, because Dogma was basically just, down to just his leader. Basically, the leader and his grunts... That's all was left because all the monsters were all gone. His one and only general was dead at this point in time. So, I guess that the reason why, we gotta find his weakness because he covers something in this God's blood, except his one shoulder. But yeah, so I still think it's kind of odd to kill him off, but like in terms of basically the story, there probably was a reason why in the case of Master. But Banki, aside from the fact he's trying to save the Kamen Rider. Also, it's showing that he actually thinks it was valuable dog, but his transfer sequence is actually faster than once was. It's like essentially does really. It's like it's really quick now because he's gotten so used to it. It's like no longer like doing and then turn. Here it's like done. It's like really quick because he's very hesitant at first, and now basically he's more confident basically in doing it. Yep. So he battles the monster and beats him pretty easily. After, of course, also breaking his knives. So then he counters the generals of the organization, where they all introduce themselves, and of course mention about Marshall Devil, who he does not meet this episode. So they bugger off, and then the kids, as basically a thank you for the bravery to helping out the scientist and his daughter, they become the new Raider Scouts. Well, they call them the Junior Kamen Rider Squad. Yep, but technically they're basically the Raider Scouts. Except that version was all over Japan and helped out the original first two Kamen Riders. Basically, they helped the first three Kamen Riders. And for some reason, after V3 finished Destron, they were disbanded. Unknown the reason for it. Could be because of time of peace. Possibly because by the time of X starting up, there's like one mention of Rider Scouts. Now, it could be they could have been disbanded. Now, at this point, this is 1980. I think this is 1981. It's only been 8 years since basically V3 at this point in time. So, who knows the reason why they decided to, as for bringing it back, they probably felt as though it wasn't necessary. I mean, it's the second one of the second phase. Why not? And 24 is their debut. And they do play a role, basically a supporting role, though them can supposedly following the monster of the next episode, who is a magnet monster. But Hinori is their captain, and in this new character Masumi is actually the vice captain. So that means Tani is like their boss. And it's not really clear exactly what his role is at this point in time. Also in 24, he shaved off his mustache. And also he catches a cold. Now, why in the world he decided to shave it off after through Sky Raider, he grew it, and then halfway through this one, he just shaves it off. Now, I do not know the reason why the actor shaved it off. Maybe he felt this was time for a change. It could be, but it's never really clear exactly why in show. Maybe the actor got tired of basically having a mustache on him, so he decided to shave it. But without the mustache, he seemed like almost a completely different character. Because I'm just kind of so used to him wearing it with the mustache. And here he is, no mustache. Okay, so then of course basically like we do see how they work. Apparently the same con device that was used in the first arc, the first half of the series, where mostly was Tani using it. Now the captain uses because apparently his shop is the base of operations of the Raider Scouts, which is strange. And a bit odd the fact it was very public like that, because here's the thing. The Rider Scouts actually had a base of operations. The original was actually destroyed by Destron. It was destroyed by one of Destron's monsters at the start of V3. It was like an office building, and it was like a public organization that helped the Kamen Riders. That was mostly put exactly what they're used for, and they decided to go secret because basically Destron knew who they were. Though, I tend to wonder, though, who the heck was funding the Raider Scouts? That's a good question. Indicate this one, you could say it's Tani, per se. But could say also the scientist as well, because he provided them with helmets, like brand new bicycles, including medallions, and also these special satchels, which one of them had radio in it. And, of course, had JR on it, the Junior Raider Scouts, the Junior Raiders. It could be a variety of reasons why. Maybe because basically the kids were getting back in the series. So now the kids themselves, in my opinion, what I've seen so far in the case of 25, they're not really hindrance per se, except that they apparently don't get a chance to contact Oki. Oh, by the way, 25, the plot of this one. By the way, this is when we see the dinner scene. What I'm on to this episode is a magnet monster. Yes, a magnet monster. So then, of course, they have this joke like, oh, this is where we find out where the high executives of Jin Dogma only eat off of silvers. They only eat with silver spoons. And apparently, those will last because they ran out. No, seriously. They ran out of silver spoons all because of the magnet man forgot to turn off his freaking magnet. And, of course, you have Doc Ghost like, hey, bring us knives, spoons, and forks right away. Yes, sir. But we're out of silver food. It's like, damn it. And I think it was Staff Officer Witch was like, we only eat with silver forks. Okay. Interesting. I thought that was just kind of hilarious. The fact that it was like that, yes. So what's the plan? Take over the Japanese airspace. That is their plan. They want to basically force this airplane organization. Now, also, they're basically like, who can fight them because they take down one of the planes. And Oki just shows up there and tells them, hey, I'm Oki. I'm the one fighting this organization. Let me handle it. And they're like, okay. They apparently no problem with this at all. They apparently don't question the fact that, hey, this random guy that shows up tells them he's the one fighting Jin Dogma and we're supposed to trust him. If this was done in a modern setting, there'd be a bit of distrust here because they don't know who he is. But it's handled really well and the course wants to be by the end of the episode. And of course, they have a little fun. Of course, this whole thing started with basically the monsters basically trying to magnet and just take out all random things. It was an interesting start, and I do enjoy these two episodes so far. I'm really enjoying Jin Dogma so far. They're quite interesting. I love their chemistry, the actors who played them. It's like they're so funny and so interesting at the same time. Who built this monster? Who the heck freaking cares? I'll probably find out later. But yeah, that's... by the way, Marshall Devil does not punish his subordinates for failing monster. Not really. This also is the most subordinates I've seen for a Kamen Rider villain group. Because normally it's just the leader and plus one general. Not 4. Okay? That is something from Super Sentai. Yes. The whole idea of having 4 subordinates, 4 chief subordinates, that is, where they basically have a similar type of authority Marshall Devil does. That is something from Super Sentai. Yep. I think the same time that this season aired, I think, if I remember correctly reading, because I was watching at the time because I wasn't live at that point, I think Dynaman, that was airing the same time this series was. They may have got the idea of having more than one subordinate from that show. It's possible because Toei made the damn thing. Yes. But as of right now, for this particular series, I have 23 episodes left to go for the whole thing. And I'm thinking tomorrow, I probably should be able to go through at least a small chunk of these remaining episodes. I'm probably able to go through about 4 in the morning and then 4 more after I finish all my anime tomorrow. Yep, but yeah, that's particular view. Next up is going to be a comic corner, and then I'm take a little break, and maybe if I get time to, I might get a chance to do a couple more episodes. It's possible, but so far I'm enjoying. Now, it seems as though for the first half it was pretty interesting for what it was, but the second half, this is interesting. I like Marshall. The visualization is so interesting. Marshall Devil, basically, I love his throne. Of course, I love the special effects. It's like basically, for the second half, it's like whatever money basically was missing it's like they added more to the budget for this one because it looks so good. I like Jin Dogma. Yep. But yeah, that's particular view. Next up is going to be Comic Corner, and then, of course, basically, I may do one more afterwards, okay? Next video. Bye.